from TikTok. When will the Epstein files come out? Okay, so y'all know I don't trust Pam, right? Y'all, y'all know I don't trust her, right? So I'm gonna just say this $1 million question. I will tell you that according to the bill that was filed and signed into law, they are supposed to release it within 30 days. I just want to remind y'all that oversight has had outstanding subpoenas to the DOJ, and thanks to the Epstein estate, we getting stuff. That's all I gotta say. So, and Pam she was stuttering the other day at a press conference. I think it was yesterday. She was like, right. So I fully anticipate she's going to say we've got ongoing investigations, even though she had previously announced that there was nothing to investigate. But now she's like, well,
forget polite politics. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett just went full savage on former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, and the clip is absolute chaos. Crockett has been clear from the start she doesn't trust Bondi, and this time she openly mocked her.
On the Epstein files, does the new investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
Do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
It all started at a recent news conference. A reporter asked Bondi why, after saying earlier this year that no further Epstein investigations were needed, she suddenly launched a new inquiry. Bondi stammered through her answer, citing new information from the Epstein estate. Crockett's response was simple. If the DOJ and Bondi were actually doing their jobs, they would have already had this information. In other words, she highlighted the obvious incompetence with a wink. And I would have done a bit more than that. I would have straightforwardly called her incompetent, but this is good enough for now.
Nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Jay.
And there it is.
All right, sorry, Jay, I think my mic got cut off. Right at that moment, we got in there right on time. It has passed. Tell us what happens next.
Yeah, well, first, Kira, you can hear that applause in the chamber. I can hear it here in the hallway right off the House floor. You saw some of those members look into the gallery there as they were applauding. We know that a number of Epstein survivors were sitting there in the gallery for the duration of the vote, watching this tally come in, something that they had fought for literal years, and then ramped up the pressure in the last few months here on Capitol Hill, coming to the Hill, tearfully recounting their experiences with Jeffrey Epstein, saying how old they were.
Now, the stakes here go way beyond a simple media roast. The Epstein files at the Department of Justice and FBI reportedly include emails, photos, and videos far more graphic than anything released so far. And yet, Bondi and her team didn't put safeguards in place when assigning over 1,000 DOJ and FBI staff to sift through material. Access was basically open to anyone, which left a trail of staffers traumatized while reviewing horrific content. Instead of just having a specialized team of people go through the stuff and then have the FBI team actually go after the culprits, she just randomly assigned all of this material to random FBI and DOJ employees. That must have been traumatizing. Bondi's department looks completely unprepared, just a serious mess.
One of the MAGA movement's most vocal defenders, now on her way out.
I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026.
And today, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene writing online that she is not running for president in 2028, adding she never said I wanted to.
I just disagreed with her philosophy.
The president telling NBC News in an exclusive interview it's not going to be easy for her to bring back her political career. Trump claiming credit for his former friend turned foe's decision.
Once I left her, she resigned because she wouldn't have
she would never have survived a primary. But I think she's a nice person.
Mr. Trump had a bitter public falling out with Green that came to a head over her support for releasing the Epstein files, an issue that split the MAGA base.
Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for.
Politically, the fallout is even bigger. Republicans in the House know the files contain plenty on Donald Trump. That knowledge may be part of why Marjorie Taylor Greene announced that she'll resign in January, citing a likely Democrat takeover of the House. She doesn't want to be in this mess when all of the Epstein files come out.
All right, we want to turn now to some new polling and some troubling signs for President Trump, even within his own party. His approval sinking as more and more Americans disagree with his handling of one of his signature issues, the economy. So what impact could that have on voters in the midterms now less than a year away? Our NBC News chief data analyst, you know him, Steve Kornacki, is live tonight with us at the big board. Steve, let's start with the approval rating. Zoom out and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, Tom, we've gotten a bunch of polling really just in the last day or two. Put it all up for you here. 4 different polls that have just come out looking. This is the big picture question. Do you approve of how Trump is handling his job as president? And look, it's sort of have convergence here. Not good for Trump. The low end, 39% approval. The high end, only 43% approval. We've talked about Trump as president. He's kind of operated in a very narrow range. This is getting to the low end in either Trump term of what we've seen for his job approval.
He can't run again. He is a lame duck president. But this matters for the midterms, especially the economy, right? Because voters are voting
With Trump facing record low approval ratings and Americans feeling the pinch from rising costs in groceries, utilities, healthcare, gas, rent, everything, the GOP brand is taking a huge hit. Oh, the economy is going to do so well under us. You're going to be so tired of all the winning we're doing. Yeah? How much winning are Americans feeling right now? The GOP brand is not exactly looking so good under Trump, and Democrats like Crockett are ready to pounce, mocking Bondi and Trump defenders as the pressure mounts. And let me add a little bit of extra mocking to that. Bondi and Trump suck. All right, go ahead, Crockett. And there's more. Trump's lawyers, including Lindsey Halligan, have been embarrassed in prosecutions, while Bondi herself has been accused of lying in court filings. Classic Trump-style stuff. The ridicule keeps intensifying, and Crockett isn't pulling punches.
Maybe Pam don't know nothing about trying cases. Again, she about to lose that Comey case. Hell, they lost the sandwich case, y'all. They lost the sandwich assault case. The fact that they brought a sandwich assault case is just okay, I'm done with that part. Let me move to the next.
So what Crockett is showing is more than humor. It's a warning. Bondi's missteps, the DOJ's mishandling of sensitive files, and the political fallout all combine into a story that is both shocking and hilarious if you like watching the powerful squirm. This moment isn't just a roast, it is a glimpse into just how messy things are behind the scenes in Trump's orbit, and how politicians like Crockett are ready to call it out. I just wish they would use dirtier words. I could insult Trump a lot better than that, but at least we're seeing Crockett and other politicians start to talk out about how Trump is failing and using more of his own style to actually talk about it. I'm just glad Crockett is actually talking out and not hiding like a lot of Trump's enemies because they don't want to be scrutinized by Trump. They don't want to end up in court. But we're seeing how things that actually end up in court happen, and they never fall according to Trump's side. So hopefully we'll see more people standing up, more people like Crockett in the administration, more politicians, more lawyers, more judges speak up like this and talk about how Trump and his administration and his prosecutions are all incompetent failures, just like the rest of this administration.